Hello, ladies. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching and supporting Her Empowered Life. This week in our monthly series of Embracing Imperfection, we would be talking about embracing imperfection in our circumstance. I'm just thinking about how many times I have asked myself, this can be it. This can't be the way my life is going to be. Just wanting to share a little bit about myself, my history. So I was born in Singapore, and I remember growing up in a somewhat dysfunctional family. My mom and dad, they were separated, divorced when I was 12, but I've always been in an environment where there's a lot of fighting happening. So very early on in my life, I knew that that was not the way I envisioned my life to be. And that led me to making poor choices and poor decisions in my life, which led me to be married and pregnant at the age of 17. And which was challenging, obviously, being a 17-year-old where my life should have just begun, where I am maybe finishing high school and going into my college. I was a stay-at-home mom. And very shortly within the month after I have my daughter, which when I was 17, when I turned 18, I had my son, 11 months apart. And never did I realize that you could have a baby back to back so soon. And by the age of 21, I had 3 children. And it was not how I envisioned my life to be. I love my children, don't get me wrong, but it was definitely not how I should be at the age of 21. I should be just, embracing life, going out, having fun with my friends, dating. Instead, I was a stay-at-home mom, mother of 3. And I asked myself, why am I in this situation? Why did I do this to myself? Why am I a stay-at-home mom? Why do I have children so early? Why am I making the choices that I've made that led me to that point? And in that moment, I couldn't understand the why behind how it led to that point. But all I knew was I was just feeling like this can't be my life. This can't be my circumstance. This can't be the way the rest of my life is going to be. And obviously being in an unhappy marriage at that time didn't help either. And so I'm thinking to myself, I'm not compatible with this person that I'm with. I have 3 children with this person now. I am only 21. What am I going to do about my circumstance? And I kind of got myself in this funk of being upset and depressed because I feel very stuck. And fast forward, I made the decision that I was going to make a change. I was going to move forward in my life. And if this wasn't going to make me happy, I'm not going to live the rest of my life being unhappy. So what I did was I decided that the relationship has to end and I moved forward with my life. Obviously, fast forward to now. But moral of the story is your circumstance is what you made of it. You might feel very stuck. You might feel that you can't go anywhere with whatever circumstance that you're in. It's not the way you envision your circumstance to be, which result in you feeling like life isn't the way it's supposed to be, and you feel depressed, you feel stuck. And it's a very normal feeling that people go through in various stages. But I think the most important thing about embracing your circumstance is to take a step back and assess why am I in this circumstance and what is it teaching me, instead of blaming the circumstance and feeling stuck. So it's easy to say but hard to do. I kind of wrote a few things that I kind of did research around imperfection in circumstance. the quote that I saw when I did the research is embracing contentment in our circumstance. Embracing contentment. So what does that embracing contentment means? I think to me is how can you, instead of maybe wishing more or wishing that it could be better, how can you learn from your circumstance and find contentment in it by assessing what can I do to make a change. Obviously my situation that I was in is a little bit bigger, more life changing, but a lot of circumstance doesn't have to be life changing. It could be very simple things that maybe you're not in the most perfect of circumstance in your job. You're doing your job to make a paycheck, but you're not passionate about it, and it's not something that brings you joy, but you are kind of stuck in the circumstance, and every morning when you wake up to go to work, you like, what am I doing here? But instead of thinking in such a way, how can you turn it into a positive, have a positive spin around your situation and think about, you know what, this is not what I'm passionate about. This is not how I want my life to be with this career choice, but what can I learn about my present situation that gives me a better idea of what I want in my next career choice, or in the career choice that I really want? What is it? What are some of the skills I can take away from my work situation, and find out what exactly do you want in your next career position, and what are some of the transferable skills that you can, and just kind of think about what can you get most out of this current situation instead of blaming or feeling like you can't make a change. Sometimes take a step back and just embracing the moment, find contentment in it by saying it is what it is right now, and the keyword is it is what it is right now, and how can I make a change which in the next half a year. I mean, obviously be realistic. What is your goal? Is this gonna be happening tomorrow, 3 days from now? Is it gonna take 6 months, 3 months? Have a goal for yourself that I want to make a change in my circumstance by acquiring a skill, by making this different decision, by learning from my current circumstance, and so it doesn't repeat again. It all comes down to a choice, and so that choice is how are you looking at your present circumstance and make the best out of it. And the good thing about having contentment is that you don't feel like you are constantly at war with yourself, in the sense that you feel like this is how it's supposed to be, but why is it not like that? Why is it this and that? And just that internal dialogue within yourself that is kind of at war, is it should be better, I should do something different. It's not. How can I get better? That dialogue. It's this noise just gets to you. It just doesn't allow you to focus in your life. It doesn't allow you to embrace and welcome better things, and hence you feel stuck, because every day you just have this internal dialogue with yourself that is at war with each other, because this is what I want, this is what it is now. So when I say contentment, having that contentment in our circumstance, what it does with that contentment is it is what it is for now, but how can I in my current circumstance have peace in my mind and my soul, that this is just temporary. Have a peace and contentment in your soul to say that I know this is just a short moment in my life. I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to change it, instead of just drowning in that war against yourself within your internal dialogue. But the most important thing is contentment doesn't come naturally to all of us. It's a learned skill. It's something that you have to be mindful about. Again, always about mindfulness. How can you stop yourself from being in that negative and turn that into a positive and be like, all right, hold up. I need to think about the positive. What is this current situation teaching me right now? Is it teaching me to be patient? Is it teaching me to make a change? Is it like the universe telling you, you are not on the right track, buddy? Make a change. what is that change? Or maybe it could be the universe making you, kind of forcing you into getting to know yourself in a different way. Because sometimes what we think we are and what really we are two different things. And that takes a moment to really reflect, self-reflect on what true who we are truly as a person. And it all comes down to perception. So how I perceive myself and how people perceive myself as they interact with me, two different things. Or how my friends perceive me and how my husband perceive me and how my children perceive me, totally different, because we all interact in very different ways. But there is always a lesson to be learned about how we can turn the imperfection that we see around by looking at the blessing that's in it, looking at the lessons that's in it, and embrace the imperfection that's in it, in our current circumstance. So what all you can do is, it is what it is for now. I'm going to learn all that I can from this moment, and I'm going to move on to the next phase by being content with what it is right now, but have a goal and a plan to make a change. Because when you make a change, you take action, is where you feel like you're slowly making yourself unstuck yourself. And what else did I write here? So peace and contentment comes from how we think and perceive the world. So you can go day after day being just mad at the world, mad at your circumstance, just what is going on here? It's just not the way I want the life that I want, and just be upset, and every day just upset. How can you change that? By, like we said, be mindful, turn your thinking around, and let's learn the lesson. What is the universe telling me? What am I supposed to learn in this moment? What life lesson am I learning? How I can take those and move on to the next. And I hope that this series, this particular week where we're talking about embracing circumstance, imperfection circumstance, is really to think about, in your current circumstance, what could you do differently? What is the universe teaching you? What is the universe telling you? Is the universe telling you that, hey, you need to make a change now? This is not working out. Or are you going to fall victim to your circumstance and just be within wall with yourself, which is not going to move you forward? And I think that mind switch would make you feel like you're moving forward despite your circumstance being imperfect. How can you embrace it, learn from it, move forward, have a plan, instead of feeling stuck? So I hope this series help you, give you some things to think about around the mindfulness piece, about how you define your own happiness, how you define your life, and how you define your circumstance. And all this is in your mind. How do you stop yourself from falling victim to your circumstance? All you need to do is a flip of a switch in your mind and take action to make a change, and not fall victim to your own very self. So I hope this series helped you. I'm looking forward to talk to you a little bit more about our next subject that we will talk about within the Embracing Imperfection series is, how do you deal with imperfection in yourself? That's very interesting. So I'm looking forward to go into that series with you, Imperfection in Yourself, next week. And until we go into our next theme, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching.